Amidst this chaos, one must wonder who truly benefits, and will Washington prioritize the nation's interests at last? Breaking news today.
Hello, and welcome to That News Show, where we discuss the latest facts, fakes, and hypocrisy as reported by the legacy media. Let's roll the tape.
Fox News reports that Senator Kennedy is calling for an end to the procedural nonsense, the jackassery, that's bringing Congress to a standstill and risking the largest tax increase in American history. Is it the American people, or is it the entrenched interest and their allies in the Democratic Party who would prefer to see the country fail rather than see this administration succeed, but who really benefits from this chaos? You're in for a treat.
And they say they'll vote no if we don't. I say let's don't do it. And if they want to vote for the largest tax increase in American history, they've got to do what they've got to do, but they better be prepared for the consequences.
Well, you have a long weekend ahead of you, and the goal for Monday, we will be covering every second of it with that first vote you just told us about, noon tomorrow, noon on Saturday.
Now, Republicans are holding their ground, rejecting the typical Washington games that put America last. This isn't just a budget battle. It's about whether American workers can keep more of their earnings or send it to Washington to fund wasteful spending and globalist projects. As we approach the crucial vote at noon on Saturday, every second is critical. Remember the last time Democrats controlled the budget? The so-called compromise pushed by a few holdouts poses a real threat to the economic future of working and middle-class Americans. The American people are paying attention, and they will recall who defended their paychecks and who succumbed to the pressures of the D.C. establishment. The only responsible course is to pass the big, beautiful bill that prioritizes American workers, families, and sovereignty. There's no excuse for further delays or justifications for holding the country hostage over special interests or backroom deals. We ended up with the Inflation Reduction Act, which was essentially a Trojan horse for tax increases and handouts to special interests, exacerbating inflation and contributing to crime and chaos through open border policies. Lawmakers siding with the globalists in the tax and spend crowd must be ready to face the consequences, not just on Monday, but every day until the next election.
It's a very extensive ruling. You can tell it from Justice Jackson's dissent. She's mad as a bag of cats, and that's probably a good thing for the American people.
Overall, this year has shown a concerted effort by Republicans to challenge entrenched interests in Washington on various fronts, including taxes, spending, and the rule of law. Justice Jackson's fiery dissent is precisely what one might expect when the Supreme Court takes significant steps to curb what some see as years of activist overreach in the federal judiciary. For years, Democratic strategies have involved leveraging sympathetic courts to obstruct initiatives like border security and deregulation, and to maintain the administrative state. The reaction from the left is revealing. Their dismay extends beyond this case. When dissent reaches this level of intensity, described as mad as a bag of cats, it suggests that the court is on a path to restoring constitutional order and sanity. This ruling is a turning point, empowering the executive branch to enact policies endorsed by the electorate, unimpeded by judicial activism. The American public is observant and eager for genuine change that prioritizes their needs over those of globalists or unelected elites. They fear losing a judicial tool used to enforce policies that are unpopular at the ballot box. This aligns with the framers' intentions and ensures the government remains accountable to the voters, not to special interests or bureaucrats. Justice Jackson's dissent, charged with frustration and claims of favoritism towards affluent interests, underscores the deep partisan divide within the judiciary. The majority opinion reinforces the importance of governmental structure and the established chain of command, from the president to cabinet and agencies, underscoring that judges should not replace elected officials' policy decisions with their own. With this ruling, the Supreme Court has taken a significant step in that direction, and the vehement reaction from the opposition confirms its necessity. It enables the current administration to advance on key issues such as border security, regulatory reform, and reversing the previous administration's policies without the hindrance of continuous litigation from left-leaning groups.
They're also subverting the power and the will of the people, which is a complicated matter with a president who won the popular vote and all of the battleground states just last November. I mean, America made a decision, and I don't believe, and you sit on the Judiciary Committee, I don't believe that anyone has the right to take that apart.
Well, look, Congress makes mistakes. Presidents make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with a federal judge saying, "I think you got this one wrong." But the federal judge can do that and render a judgment on the parties in his or her court. That federal judge can't do it for the entire nation.
Right.
And that's
Fox News has effectively explained these developments, often highlighting perspectives like Senator Kennedy's, who openly criticizes congressional dysfunction and judicial overreach. By focusing on specific aspects of the bill, such as border security measures and the elimination of unnecessary spending, Fox helps viewers grasp the critical issues at stake. Fox News could enhance its reporting by incorporating a wider array of expert opinions, especially concerning the economic effects of the debt ceiling and potential consequences of congressional inaction. Fox News must continue to press lawmakers to fulfill their duties and hold the judiciary accountable for overreaching. The network's coverage of the legislative stalemate over President Trump's tax and border security bill has been particularly insightful, emphasizing the urgency and real-world implications for working Americans. The ongoing congressional debate over the proposed compromise is about more than just budget figures. It's about maintaining America's sovereignty and ensuring governance by the people's consent, rather than succumbing to globalist influences and bureaucratic overreach. While federal judges play a crucial role in balancing the powers of government branches, their authority has limits. As these debates unfold, it is imperative that coverage remains anchored in factual reporting, constitutional principles, and the tangible effects on American workers and families. A more detailed analysis of how the rescission package impacts specific programs or the potential implications of the Supreme Court's ruling in future cases would provide a richer, more balanced view. Any attempt by unelected judges or bureaucrats to overturn this decision, or by Congress to disregard the electorate's message, represents a direct challenge to our constitutional framework and the principle of self-governance. Previously, activist judges had the power to issue broad orders that blocked presidential policies, disrupting the constitutional hierarchy. In stark contrast, the current administration with President Trump and congressional Republicans at the helm is focused on fiscal responsibility, securing the border, and prioritizing American families. The American public is paying close attention, expecting their voices to prevail over the preferences of the Washington, D.C. establishment and activist judges. Last November, the electorate clearly mandated President Trump to lead, as evidenced by his victory in both the popular vote and key battleground states. This decision restores equilibrium, preventing a single district judge from setting national policy for over 300 million people. Congressional mistakes are not uncommon in the United States, yet we are currently facing a critical test. Will the will of the American people be respected?
Now, the Senate has got to take it up next, and shame on us if we don't pass the president's request.
That's a lot of money, $9.7 billion in, as you called it, spending porn.
Senator Kennedy, for example, has criticized spending millions on projects like Iraqi Sesame Street. In today's political environment, it is crucial for lawmakers to understand that fiscal responsibility involves more than just spending cuts. It requires effective use of government funds. The Senate's upcoming decision on the president's proposal to cut unnecessary spending is critical for fiscal responsibility. The Senate's decision will indicate whether they prioritize the interests of American taxpayers or yield to the influence of special interest groups. By eliminating wasteful spending and concentrating on essential priorities, lawmakers can rebuild public trust and show a true commitment to the nation's welfare. This means rigorously reviewing budget allocations to cut unnecessary expenses and reallocating those resources to initiatives that strengthen national security, economic stability, and social welfare. While culturally enriching, these do not tackle urgent domestic issues. This focus ensures fiscal discipline and aligns government expenditures with the values and needs of its citizens. The term spending porn, which vividly captures the essence of wasteful expenditures, highlights funds that could instead support vital domestic needs. Persisting in funding non-essential programs could lead to higher taxes or increased national debt, burdening future generations. As always, it's interesting to hear how they'd like to spin this. Tonight, we are reminded that the loudest voices in Washington still advocate for endless international interventions, seemingly ignoring the lessons of the past 30 years. They claim it's patriotic to send our sons and daughters to fight wars that benefit globalist agendas rather than American families. Perhaps it's time to stop heeding the advice of those who have consistently been mistaken and start demanding real answers. Under President Trump's leadership, we've seen a shift towards prioritizing our nation, protecting our borders, revitalizing our economy, and standing strong against the failed elites who previously undermined our progress. If America is worth defending, let's defend it right here, on our own soil where it matters most. We'd be happy to hear your comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, we will be watching them for you. That's all, folks.